Mine waste caused a major fish kill on this portion of the Clark Fork River west of Butte. Are more fish kills expected?
Democratic hopefuls did not hold back in their third Democratic debate. I'm Natalie Brand in Houston with the moments that stood out.
Two stories that could have more or least in common than that.
Right.
Fish kills and Democratic debates. There you go. Welcome to Montana This Morning, Friday edition.
No doubt about it. And happy Friday to you. I'm Missy O'Malley with Chet Lehman. Matt Elwell has our forecast here in a bit. We have more studio guests. It's a very fun show today. It is a really good show today. Let's get back to it. Fish biologists recently discovered a large area covered with dead fish along the section of the Clark Fork River near the west part of Butte and Anaconda.
Yeah, MTN's John Amy tells us what experts believe caused the fish kill.
A large fish kill recently discovered on the Clark Fork River west of Anaconda shows old mining contamination along the banks is still getting into the water.
Because the tailings are there and we have major rainstorms, they will wash into the water until everything is completely restored from top to bottom.
Heavy metals from the mining operations in Butte over a century ago have settled into the floodplain area along the Clark Fork River, and recent heavy rains pushed the contamination into the river between Warm Springs and Galen.
And these storms that we've had that are, as my grandmother would call them, gully washers, they're hard to manage, and stormwater is always going to be an issue for us.
The Clark Fork Basin is in the process of a multi-million-dollar cleanup between Butte and Missoula. The area along the river where the fish kill happened is still awaiting restoration.
The thing about this recent fish kill is it is fairly short-lived in that it happened quick. Some of the fish were killed, and then it looks like it's discharged out. And then when the biologists went back later, the fish were surviving in that area.
The cleanup along the Clark Fork River Basin is being done in sections, sort of a patchwork project, if you will. And until the full remediation project is complete, there could be more fish kills.
You know, until the tailings are removed from the entire floodplain of the Clark Fork, we probably will have additional fish kills unless we go and do some Band-Aid approaches while we're cleaning up.
In Galen, John Amy, MTN News.
John tells us biologists say the fish population right now in the Clark Fork River about 20% of what it should be.
Wow.
Sometimes it just takes time.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it is quite the process.
Absolutely
No
true.
doubt about it. Matt, decent weather for people to get on out and clean stuff up?
Yeah, why not?
It's always good weather for that.
Yeah.
I think you just nailed me. I have to go mow the lawn today.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Great. Thanks for the reminder. Temperatures this morning a little on the cool side. 28 degrees in West Yellowstone, 38 degrees in Butte, 40 degrees in Belgrade right now. Generally clear conditions. We'll watch the conditions as you head into the afternoon. We'll be warming up, but the wind will be picking up as well. Looks like those clouds will be building as you head into the mid to late part of the afternoon, sticking around into the evening. As we head into the weekend, we stay dry and we warm up. Next week, we do have some changes on the way. We'll go out to the Billion Auto Weather patio here in just a few minutes. Take a look at that.
I'm not trying to hear any changes on the way.
The mower is in the garage like it always is, so when you head on over there to do my lawn, it's in the same place.
And the beer's still in the fridge.
You can find it. That's
Beer's
exactly
still
right.
in
You
the
can find both.
fridge.
Yeah, the fuel for the mower. Yeah.
I don't want to hear anybody changes on the way. I just want to hold on to that 80 degree on Sunday. That'll be great. Let's get back to our top national story for you now. 10 Democrats squared off in a lengthy debate at Texas Southern University last night.
Healthcare was given a big focus like it was in the previous two debates, as was guns. CBS's Natalie Brand is in Houston and has details of last night's debate.
A feisty fight over health care kicked off the third Democratic presidential debate.
Nobody's yet said how much it's going to cost.
Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren defended Medicare for all.
Under my legislation, people will not go into financial ruin.
I've actually never met anybody who likes their health insurance company.
While more moderate candidates pushed back.
A nonprofit choice that will bring down the cost of insurance.
I'm for Barack. I think the Obamacare worked.
Former Housing Secretary Julian Castro went after frontrunner Joe Biden directly.
Are you forgetting what you said 2 minutes ago?
Some on stage said the attack on the 76-year-old former vice president went too far.
This is why presidential debates are becoming unwatchable.
The debate in Houston was the first since recent mass shootings, including 2 here in Texas that killed more than 24 people, putting gun violence in focus.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47. We're not going to allow it to be used against our fellow Americans anymore.
The debate also came just 1 day after the 18th anniversary of 9/11. South Bend Mayor and veteran Pete Buttigieg called for a stop to endless wars.
When I am president, an authorization for the use of military force will have a built-in 3-year sunset.
The 5 candidates who were asked all promised to bring American troops home from Iraq and Afghanistan. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Houston.
Now that next debate will be October 15th in Ohio. It's likely going to be another 2-night affair because 11 candidates have qualified for that debate.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
It's constantly changing and we're on our toes.
It's a fluid thing.
Absolutely. Let's get back to some local news for you now. A West Yellowstone man could face up to 100 years in prison after being charged with sexual assault.
Yeah, bail has been set at $75,000 for 52-year-old Kenneth Perez. He's accused of touching a juvenile girl's genitals over her clothing. During an investigation, it was also learned 2 other children may have been sexually assaulted by Perez while he was babysitting them. Preliminary hearing has been set for September 27th.
And with more and more people visiting the Highlight area every year, more and more trash is being left behind.
Yeah, Highlight is a pack it in, pack it out area, which means you must bring your trash with you when you leave. Highlight is maintained by the Custer-Gallatin National Forest, which takes care of cleaning the outhouses, maintaining trails in the region. It is not, however, responsible for picking up your trash. Now, the group Friends of Highlight says message is simple. Pick up after yourself. That way everyone can enjoy the land.
If you see people leaving garbage, I think it's it's a good idea to ask people to pick up after themselves. I think if we all kind of do our part to be vigilant about taking care of Highlight and other public lands, together we can all do our part.
By the way, volunteers will gather to pick up trash at Highlight on September 28th.
And of course, it's no surprise that recent rains have put a damper on the harvest all over the state of Montana. In our last storm system alone, more than 1.5 inches of rain fell in Glasgow.
Yeah, the roller coaster ride of weather has made it difficult for producers to get into the fields this season. According to the Montana Department of Agriculture, winter wheat 9% behind the 5-year average in terms of crops that's been harvested. Spring wheat, on the other hand, is where we really see the impacts. U.S. Department of Agriculture reporting that only 62% of the crop has been harvested. That's as of Monday. That's significantly behind the 5-year average of 86%.
We're a lot later than we normally are. The moisture is what it is. You usually get the middle of August and then you start getting into the fall. So then you start running into cool, damp mornings
Well, there is some good news as we head towards the weekend. We've got a nice boost in temperatures at least coming up through Sunday.
That will be so
No
lovely.
complaints in that.
No complaints there.
Yeah.
And this is a story we've been following. The Bogart Pavilion in Bozeman just got another helping hand and took one step closer to getting a new bill of health. We've been following this story, as I mentioned, ever since the partial collapse last winter. And this week, the Bozeman City Board approved an additional $209,000 towards completely overhauling the pavilion. This comes after the board approved the plan, which could range up to $650,000 to bring that building up to city code and make it safer against all natural events. And tomorrow, the city will be interviewing 3 candidates for a contractor bid, another big step forward.
It really does feel good to be making progress in the right direction, and we've got a lot of support from our elected officials, and just really appreciate the patience that we're being given by the community. We understand the importance of this community asset, so we're hoping that we can get this thing repaired.
Now, with the fund already holding $200,000, city officials say they're 2/3 of the way to plan, which should be ready this fall.
And here's a question for you. Are you feeling stuck in a rut at work? Experts say impressing your boss isn't the only way to move up.
Yeah, now there's a non-traditional way that might work even better. Annie Taylor takes a closer look.
Everybody at some point in their career whether they're happy or not, they feel that they're in a rut.
Melanie Colsey has been working in recruiting for more than 10 years, and like most of us, has had the itch to move up in her career.
I've been personally lucky enough, though, to forge solid relationships throughout my career that I think have really helped me get to where I am today.
Expert Mala Saragi says there are new ways to get ahead. Society has changed, and she says we all have to adapt.
I think traditionally people feel like they need to suck up to their boss.
But now, network. But not the way you might be thinking. You gotta network internally.
People think networking is like, it's taboo, but I mean, networking is just talking to people. It's just literally having heart-to-heart conversations with people and being yourself.
She's talking about with your coworkers. It could be as simple as saying hi when you walk into the office or bringing in donuts.
Taking them to lunch, doing fun stuff after work, doing happy hours, bringing in breakfast burritos.
When it comes to those gatherings with coworkers outside work, Melanie is not a huge fan.
I feel like that time after work is my time, and I do go to some things, but I don't go to everything.
But Mala says those are important.
I feel like a good balance is at least managing to go to at least 60-70% of the company events.
If you think your boss doesn't notice, they do.
How we're collaborating with the team and how we're mentoring each other is really important for the next step in your career.
Things pay off. Just work hard, stay focused.
I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
That's why we always go as a team together for breakfast.
That's
and disappear out of the newsroom for hours and hours. It's team building. It isn't being lazy. It's team building.
It's chicken fried steak for everybody.
It's team building, people.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yes. And now we're really hungry. Thank you,
Yes,
Chet.
we are. Yes, we are.
We do have to take a quick break, but stay with us. In a moment, we have three beautiful ladies to talk about the Bozeman 3, and it